How's it going, everyone? I'm future meteorologist Steven Foray here, back with another weekly weather news video, and this week we definitely have a lot to talk about. Starting off locally here, last weekend we had a few isolated thunderstorms bringing us heavy winds, heavy rains, and as you can see here, localized ponding and flooding. The National Weather Service estimated anywhere from about an inch locally to 3/4 of an inch isolated rain amounts. But along with that, pretty much up until midweek, as this special weather statement shows, we had wind gusts all the way up to about 50 miles per hour this entire week. It was a pretty intense week. Also, believe it or not, we did have the elevated risk for fire weather, which basically means it was pretty dry, it was windy, wind gusts, which means if there was maybe a fire that spread, it could easily spread because it had perfect conditions. And thinking about that, there has been wildfires across the country because it has been dry and gusty. So that is definitely something to keep your eye out on. Always be careful when having a fire outside. And of course, as I've been saying, we are in the peak of severe weather season. So just like weeks previous, we have had nasty severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail all throughout the week. Starting off, Texas, down south, and the Midwest got hammered. Look at this long stretch of severe weather that they had. I hope everyone affected by these storms is safe. Last Friday's key messages issued by the National Weather Service here: scattered severe thunderstorms were expected and did happen throughout Texas. Portions of Texas South Plains had an enhanced risk of severe storms coming with large hail as supercells, look at this radar, developed late afternoon and the evening. Of course, they were concerned about the hail because that hail can be absolutely damaging. And also, in that orange there was the possibility for the spread of tornadoes. Again, please make sure you take all these warnings seriously and monitor the National Weather Service forecast. And moving on to Monday here, even worse in that red, the moderate risk for severe weather. And look how far that yellow stretches down, and of course the enhanced in the orange there, absolutely very wide risk for severe weather, and that red means very no good. Let's take a little closer look at this. One of the key messages issued here on Monday: an outbreak of severe weather was likely and did happen across the Midwest and upper Midwest on Monday. Outbreak of severe weather caused large hail, severe wind gusts, and strong and intense tornadoes, especially in that red there. This message pretty much says the same thing here from the National Weather Service. However, little risk of a risk, and this was in Texas. Again, scattered severe storms happened, and they brought large hail, wind gusts, supercells, which brought those tornadoes. This message from the National Weather Service was also on Monday. Multiple corridors of severe weather were expected in the afternoon into the evening hours in the Midwest, in places like Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Of course, these severe storms brought hazards, including supercells with hail. Those tornadoes, check out these intense cells that came your way, especially in that red and orange. Now on Tuesday, the severe weather stretched all the way up north. Yup, that's right. You may think, oh, I live in the north. I live in central New York. I live in western New York, wherever, Pennsylvania. But no, we are not safe from the severe weather just because we live in the north. Check out this key message for Tuesday that the National Weather Service issued. Scattered severe thunderstorms were likely and certainly did happen on Tuesday afternoon and evening. The risks associated with these severe thunderstorms were damaging wind gusts, large hail, as well as some isolated tornadoes, although not as likely as you saw down south and in the Midwest. Another message for Tuesday here, again, scattered severe thunderstorms across the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes, all the way into Texas and Oklahoma. Of course, with these severe storms come the risk for the main three: hail, heavy wind gusts, and tornadoes. And yesterday, again, Texas, you guys saw pretty bad weather. Another message was issued, again, talking about all the scattered severe storms. Are you getting the pattern? That's right. severe storms day after day after day. So please take every warning that you get seriously and make sure to monitor all of these storms. I hope everyone affected by these storms have been safe. Another week with a lot of information, that is for sure. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.